Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Tell-All. My name is Bobby Fazio. It is Tuesday, July, what is it? 15th. 15th. We're halfway through July already. Oh my goodness. All-Star game is tonight, and I guess you guys are watching the All-Star game. Unfortunately, you got me on top of your All-Star game right now. So, which would you rather watch? Don't answer that. All right. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. We got Joe Castello coming on tonight, and I'm going to have Walt Walker, my good buddy, work with me tonight. He's going to co-host, and we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to talk to Joe about his announcing, about his racing, about basically his history, his upbringing, his roots down in Florida, Miami area. And we are going to cover all the results of this past weekend. We had a JEGS Sportsnationals at South Georgia Motorsports Park. We had a Division II event there as well. We had the completion of the Bristol National event for stock and super stock anyway. What else did we have? We had a double out in Division 6 out in Woodburn, Oregon, and we had IHRA with their debut weekend at Durana, formerly known as National Trail Raceway. Durana Motorsports Park in Columbus, Ohio. So a lot went on this weekend, and we're going to talk about all of it. So put the coffee on. This could be a nice little marathon tonight. And who wouldn't want to enjoy something like that? Let's go. There's Walt Walker. Happy Tuesday, Walt. I'll see you in a bit. Steve Bruce, happy Tuesday. Hope you and yours are having a good start of the week. Thank you, Steve Bruce. Same to you. And Danny Davis, what's up, Dan? It is time. That time it is. Absolutely. Fast Eddie, what's up? Fast Eddie Byler, who's cleaning house up there at New Media Dragway. Did you race again this weekend, Eddie? Let me know. Tom Gent, what's going on, Tom? How you doing down there in North Carolina? Brian Zenzen, there he is, the Division 5 standout, Brian Zenzen. And Military Man. Mark Sargenti, what's up, Mark? How you doing, buddy? What's going on, Mark? Zenzen, what'd you guys do this weekend? Jimmy Carter, what's going on, Jimmy? How are you, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Billy Ryder, what's up, Billy? Hopefully see you and or Dad at New Media in a couple weeks. Dennis Chapman, hopefully see you there as well. What's up, Dennis? Brett Steven, I probably won't see you there, but how you doing, Brett? How is sunny Arizona? Let's see, what's Division 7 doing? They're not doing anything until September. Okay. Division 6, we know they just had a busy weekend. And then they have a national this weekend, but then they come back to Pacific Raceways August 7th to the 10th. So Division 6 is kind of busy right now. Mike McMahon, what's up, Mike? How you doing, sir? How about that IHRA coverage? I'm telling you, right? Now, I'm honestly did not really get to watch much racing this weekend. I was working on the house and went on a family vacation. So didn't really get to pay attention much. Was just checking my phone and seeing what I could see. And the IHRA TV, I saw some videos and I thought it was really good stuff. I liked it. It had like a pro feel to it. I saw the Hemi final there between Anthony Rhodes and Steve Camella, and I thought that was really cool looking. Hello from the Pomona Tower, Track Announcers Guild member since 1994. What's up, Bruce Fulper? How you doing? Nope, it was Eddie's Air Force weekend, so he missed the points race. Okay. Well, hopefully they let you cancel one or drop one. Do they let you do that up in New Media? Take your best, 8 of 10 or something like that? Ray Thurston, he's still awake. And it's only 8:33. All right. Zach Wolf, what's going on, Zach? Did you watch the stick shift video that I put up? Hopefully. Justin Graham, what's going on? D7 lost a great one. I know you guys did. And I met him a lot of times. He made the hats for me. Driver interviews hats. So Mark Kirby, rest in peace. Grape Ape. That's for sure. I spent my weekend at Drill. Next weekend at Brainerd International Raceway Stock Super Stock Combo. 1K, 2K, 2K to win all weekend. All right. There you go. It was the first time I actually watched all the classes race. Normally, I can barely stand to watch all stock rounds. That's awesome. They got something great going right now. And I'll tell you what, they paid $5,000 to win both events. And it was paid in cash, I believe, and contingency was paid on the spot. So that was pretty cool. That's why you looked. Thurston is pulling a converter, getting getting something ready for IHRA. Yep. Yeah. Chuck Weisberg, good evening. Didn't you take a vacation last year? Yeah. Thanks, Chuck. Reggie Leitch, what's going on, Reggie? How you doing? Didn't see you at Virginia. What happened? I thought you were on the list, and then you weren't on the list. So, hope everything's well. Who else is out there? Gary and Dana Jacobson. Good evening, guys. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? That's the question I'm supposed to be asking all of you. All right, comments keep flying in, and I want to get a couple things covered here before Joe comes on. Let's run through a couple sponsors and birthdays, right? So obviously my website is driverinterviews.com. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you could. We're over 7,000. I think we're at 7,100 now. So that's really cool. We have to have some kind of big party or giveaway when we get to 10,000. Driverinterviews.com if you want to purchase a shirt, hat. I don't really have any hats right now, and now I have to find somebody new to make the hats for me. But we'll have it all. Driverinterviews.com. Draginsights.com. Research yourself. Research your opponents. Drag Insights. That's Alicia Anderson's baby, and she helps me out, and I help her out as much as I can whenever they have a math problem that needs to be solved. So draginsights.com. If you want to check out your stats, check out your opponent's stats. And or if you're an announcer, we'll say, and you want to learn about some of the cars and some of the drivers and who's good and who needs help and who doesn't need any help, draginsights.com. Thank you, Alicia, for all your help. Don Kennedy Race Car Insurance. All right, we all need some prayers for Don Kennedy right now. He had a heart attack, from what I read on Facebook from his daughter. So Don suffered a heart attack. I believe they put a stent in, and then they decided a couple days later he needed to come back in for emergency surgery and get a bypass. I haven't heard any updates since. So if anybody knows how Don Kennedy is doing, I sent him a couple messages, but I have not heard back. So really hoping Don Kennedy is okay. He's the one that provides us with race car insurance. He races super stock. I know that was the question he first asked his doctor and his daughter is, when can I get back on the track? So that was a couple days ago they asked that, but I haven't heard any updates since. So Don Kennedy Race Car Insurance, 602-284-6240 or 1donkennedy@gmail.com. And even if you don't really want to ask him about insurance today, maybe you could just send him a text message to that number and give him a couple well wishes, or even an email to that email address, and just let him know that we are all thinking of him. So hang in there, Don Kennedy. We hope everything is okay. Rob Youngblood, advancedclutches.com. Actually got the shirt on tonight, advancedclutches.com. Rob Youngblood, thanks for your support. If you want to go the stick shift route and have a lot more fun driving your race car, Rob Youngblood can get you a nice clutch. Get that 8-inch billet machined clutch, same one that I got. That thing is pretty, and can't wait to get back in that car and check it out and give you some feedback and let you know how it's working for me. So thank you, Rob Youngblood. We got Bruce Fulper. He's here right now, PontiacEngines.com. He's also an announcer and races Pontiacs. So he's Mr. 428 Superstock Pontiac. The 428 Superstock Pontiac had a good weekend out in Division 6. Did anybody notice who won out in Division 6 this past weekend? My goodness. 3 out of 4 races. It was Pontiac. My goodness. RocketManCoatings.com. Engine and drivetrain coatings. Also a contingency sponsor. Thank you, Rocketman. Get your parts, pieces, components, gears all coated by Rocky at RocketManCoatings.com. Get your taxes done by Ray Minnick, RP Minnick. And his email address is rpm@rpminnick.com. It's up there on your screen, or you can reach him at 267-247-7601. And VP Racing Fuels, fuel and oil contingency. Thank you, VP Racing Fuels, for your support this year. Best racing fuel you can get. And paying contingency, as always, also paying contingency for oil and official fuel of the NHRA, and now the official fuel of the IHRA as well. So VP Racing Fuels making some moves this year, huh? How about it? All right, let's see. We got a couple birthdays. The Drag Insights birthdays. We got Scott Klinger. Speaking of VP Racing Fuels, Scott Klinger was, I was about to say July 9th, so 6 days ago. Happy birthday, Scott Klinger. Who else? We got Brad Haugard and PJ Fouts. Everybody knows who PJ Fouts is, right? He's got his own podcast. He's a, singer, rapper, country music. He does it all. Performer. We'll just call him performer. And super stock racer. He's got a really cool super stock M automatic 283 powered Chevy. Their birthdays were July 10th. So happy birthday, Brad and PJ. We got Mark Jones, July 13th. Happy birthday, Mark Jones. And we got a sad birthday today because he is no longer with us, but he was a member of Drag Insights and a really cool guy from Sweden, Marcus Svensson. Today is Marcus Svensson's birthday. Marcus is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Marcus Svensson. He had a really nice red 69 Camaro in a stick and was a clutch guru, worked on pro stock teams as well. He was a smart guy. I learned a lot from him. He showed me some graphs. He wouldn't let me take any pictures of them, but he showed me graphs and taught me a couple things to look for. So happy birthday there up in heaven there, Marcus Svensson. All right. Let's see. Let's see who we got out here. All right. Comments are just still flying in. Oh boy, I lost my place. Let me go. Here we go. Not a stock super stalker, but Keith Mayers, D1 killing it, leaving no doubt this year. And yeah, stick shift video was great. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, Keith Mayers with the Porsche. Is he still driving the Porsche? I mean, I think he's got another car that he built too. Division 1 standout. Keith Mayers, Super Street, .90s. He does it. He does it all. He does it well. Brian Cool, happy Tuesday, Brian. Terry Emmons, good evening, fellas. Prayers for Don Kennedy and his recovery. Absolutely. So I hope Don Kennedy's okay. We have some more sad news. We had a Division 1 stock eliminator racer and friend to all, Michael Corderone, passed away this past weekend at a very young age. Michael was a single father, I believe, to 3 daughters. So he was doing a lot. I haven't seen him race in a little while, but he used to run at Atco Dragway. I know good friends with Anthony Fetch and a bunch of others from the Jersey crowd. And Michael, 50 years old at the most. So rest in peace, Michael Corderone. Very sad news there. And to have, a couple, at least 3 daughters that I think I saw in the picture, that's sad. So unbelievable. I know it was just something sudden that they weren't expecting, and that's all I know. Mark Kirby, how about that? Rest in peace, Mark Kirby. I know Mark got sick, I guess over the last month or two, and maybe I'm sure others out in California know more than I do, but he was a good guy. He had nice cars. He was a Mopar man. Had the Grape Ape, was the super stock duster. I think he had a stock duster. I think Brian Anderson actually drove 1 or 2 of these cars as well. And he had his Wicked Stitches clothing apparel brand. So he's the one that made the driver interviews hats for me, the embroidered hats. So I've been putting another order in, and I just can't believe I'm not going to see him anymore. And I feel very sorry and sad for his wife. Rest in peace, Mark Kirby. He was a great guy. Like I said, we need prayers for Don Kennedy. You know what? We need some prayers for Craig Gaultieri also. I believe Craig had a couple health scares this weekend. So it's just been a rough weekend all around for our racing brethren here. So, I don't know. Say some prayers, all right? Say some prayers. Let's we got Walt here. Walt Walker in. Walt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you, Bobby?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm tired of giving sad news. You got any happy news? Did anybody rescue a cat from a tree today or in Texas? What's going on?
IHRA might have been rescued.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been on rescuing that. IHRA might have been rescued and coming back, and they had a good weekend. But it was a ton of racing this weekend, so maybe we'll get to all that later because it was so much racing, and I don't know, 10 races this weekend, something like that.
It took forever. I was going through results, combing through, all of that, and usually I spend a couple, an hour or 2 in the morning on a Tuesday to do all that. And today I was like, wow, yeah, I forgot there was this many races.
Yeah, it was a bunch. It was a bunch. And even the Division 6 wasn't even on TV, and it was kind of trying to keep up with it all was kind of crazy. And I'm just a nerd like that. So I'm trying to watch live time in the Division 6 and got the NHRA quadruple race going on in South Georgia and peeking in at the IHRA stuff. I had way too much going on. and
I
trying
know,
to
and
work.
I rely on you. If I have a question, I just text Walt. Walt, who won? Are there any heads ups? What's going on?
Yeah,
Because
it was
I'm
a
at
good little.
the beach and I'm not watching right
Yeah,
now.
you hanging out, sipping margaritas and stuff, hanging out at the beach, and I'm glued to the action.
Yep.
But
Steven Johnson says it was very hot down there in Valdosta, and that's what I was expecting. So,
it was
thanks,
hot in
Brian Anderson.
Houston,
That's two
and I
digs.
wasn't racing. I'd rather be
Yeah,
hot and racing than hot and working.
I know, right? Yeah, how about it? Reggie Leitch had to work in Japan, and when I returned, my truck messed up, and I wasn't able to make to Virginia. And the IHRA coverage was awesome. All right, Reggie, working in
Now
Japan.
we're talking about. I think it's Reggie Lynch.
Is it Litch? Okay, I might have said the name. I say Leitch.
One of us, or tell us which one's right, Reggie.
Right. Should we make a friendly wager on this?
I've
$1.
been knowing Reggie a long time, so I don't know.
All right. $1 that I got it right. Reggie, I'll split 50 cents with you. Put my pronunciation. Steve Bruce, what's up, man? Thanks a lot. So we've got Joe Castello coming in tonight. That's cool. We're going to talk to Joe. Let's get his backstory. I know he's down in Florida. He's a racer. He's an announcer. He's got a podcast. So and he's just a very personable, like cool, funny, like guy. Like I like I feel like my friend is announcing when Joe is on the mic, like he's cool and he's got some humor and he's pretty good with the movies too. I'm not gonna lie. Like he throws a couple movie nuggets out there. I don't know if everybody gets them, but I sure do whenever he throws them in there. And that's how I started liking his announcing techniques.
Oh yeah. Little Easter eggs he throws out there. And great hair. Great hair.
Oh God, I'm so jealous of the slick back.
When
park.
I win my national event, I'm gonna do him like Jimmy Johnson and just
Well, we'll get him in here. I believe he is in. I see him. So let's get going. Let's get started. What do you think, Walt?
He's a professional. I gotta be serious right now.
I know. Hurry up. Sit up straight. Let's go.
Let me fix my Emmons Autoflex hat.
Yep. All right. Let's see if we can get Joe in here, and hopefully my screen doesn't cut off Walt's head.
Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
How are you, Joe?
I'm great, but Bobby, funny how?
What do you mean I'm funny?
He's funny. You're funny.
Funny how? Like I'm a clown, like I amuse you.
He's funny. Get out of here, Tommy. All right.
He said it. He's a big boy. Funny how? Oh man. I do. I drop a movie nugget in every once in a while, fully expecting that 1 out of 100 gets it. So thank you for that. I appreciate you noticing.
You got it, Joe. Well, when the first time you dropped your Karate Kid nugget, you had 2 in my household that got it. So
awesome.
There you go.
Child of the 80s, man. Child of the 80s. It's about the references.
That's right. I probably asked my parents for karate lessons. They said, no. Here, we got this VHS for you. Just watch this on repeat.
Whatever it takes.
Probably how it went down.
That was YouTube taught me in the 80s. Watch the videos.
Watch the video. Don't read the book. Just watch the movie.
Just watch the movie.
All right, Joe. So thanks for coming.
We had a short attention span, right? Nowadays, they've got a way shorter attention span. It's like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. You're telling me. I'm a
so
teacher.
Guys, I'm nervous here. Like you guys are hardcore, class racers. And I am coming in and I'm feeling like, man, I hope I'm ready for this. All right. I'm excited. I see everybody in your chat section. Everybody's a racer. Ray, help me out on the microphone. Walt set that up. I was up in Maple Grove. Walt's like, hey, Ray can help. Ray's comes up. He does a great job. This is exciting for me. So thank you in advance for inviting me on driver interviews, even though I'm not a driver.
Now, are you a driver? And that's part of what I wanted to talk to you about because the WFO, the wide F&O open crowd isn't always the same as the stock superstock crowd. And I wanted the stock superstock guys and the class racer guys to get to know a little bit about Joe, the bracket racer, Joe, the super street racer. Tell us about Yeah, did a little dragster race, and and approaching 200 miles an hour there.
14 away.
14 away.
14 away, getting close. I never thought that would happen. Thanks to Bo Butner for that amazing opportunity, and Randy Lynn. But yeah,
But you've done your fair share of bottle boat racing, right?
Oh, well, back in the day, definitely. I got started, I live in South Florida. Hollywood is the city that I was born in. Pembroke Pines is where I live now, but it's just south of Fort Lauderdale. It's north of Miami. So we're very close to the Miami Dolphins Stadium, very close to where they race the Formula One races. And down here, we had a great drag strip called Miami Hollywood Speedway. I talk about it all the time. It's where Daryl Gwynn got his start. Garlits ran here often. Jungle Jim would come down, the Coca-Cola cavalcade of funny cars. And it was relatively close. And so we went out there when I was a little child with my dad in the 70s and 80s, spent a lot of time watching that stuff. The tree that I have in my studio is from the starting line out there. And so as early as I could remember, watching the sportsman bracket class roll out. And it was the era of the ramp trucks. I'm sure you guys all remember that. The ramp trucks were a thing. And I used to ask my father, like, I couldn't wrap my mind around the ramp trucks racing each other. It's like, what's going on with that, Dad? And he's like, he didn't even have an answer. Like the racers race their cars in Super Pro or Pro, and they also run the ramp trucks, I guess, because they're out here, 18 seconds. And I got introduced to bracket racing, and I always wanted to do it. So I participated in our high school bracket program at Miami Hollywood, and I was able to win a track championship there. And so all that was off the bottom. But once we, built the car a little faster and started running Super Pro, we put the delay box in it. So I started going off the top. Always considered myself good off the bottom, but better off the top. And that's why the Pro Tree thing is appealing to me.
Yeah. And that's, speaking about the class racer and the connection here, people may not know that Project Pontiac is your Super Street car, which was an original car that was driven from the dealership. And when you decided to redo it, you kept the engine brand specific. It may not be the original engine, but it's Pontiac, right?
100%. What kind of a horrible person would do anything other than that?
Well, that leads into, it's not the same, but you could have ran some super stock.
Yeah.
The chassis is not there for super stock.
Chassis smassy. Just
it's not. Listen, I've been poking around the pits. I've watched I've seen the FJ Smith cars. I know what's going on. We've got a roll cage in a 78 Trans Am with a 4-link. It's perfect for what it does. It's a half chassis bracket car. It's been, improved a little bit for super street, and that's what it's for. What's going on in super stock is next level stuff. As much as they look like, stockers, super stockers, there's a lot of technology going on, a lot of chassis work, a lot of suspension, effort put in, and we're not there. I don't see any 70. I don't see the guys down in Texas. They do well with Pontiacs down there.
Clegg,
Mission Garage, yeah.
JB, John Clegg, and yep.
How long have you had the Project Pontiac car, Joe?
My dad and I, along with my mother, went to JM Pontiac in 1978. They bought it brand new. So I was there. I was 5 years old, and we drove it off the lot, and it's been in the family ever since.
Nice.
Yeah. It was the car that drove me into kindergarten, and we started messing around with it in the early to mid 80s, 750 double pumper. Right? Edelbrock performer intake, some Hedman headers, and it evolved from that. Started, kind of getting in with the local bracket racing crowd here in South Florida. Our friends, a guy named Ernie McDaniel and his son Dwayne, really shepherded us through the early learning curve. And so we got the car right, and one thing led to the next thing, we got a back half and 4-link under it. And I'm running in Super Pro at Moroso Motorsports Park in the mid-90s. I won a track championship in Super Pro, something I'm to this day very proud of. I know it was another century ago, literally.
It all counts.
Still is another century ago, but
Cowboy fans are still talking about championships.
No doubt. Us Dolphin fans are still talking about a perfect season.
True.
Ran the 5-day bracket races back then during like what I would say the ending of the golden era of the 5-day bracket race at Moroso. I ran in like 92, 93, 95, 96, something like that. Did real well in 1995, the year I won the track championship. I was just on that year, I suppose. I finished 11th overall in the points and had one throwaway day. So I was real excited about that. And at that point, we started to like, there was an evolution in the class, right? Like, first of all, it was an evolution for me. I wasn't a kid anymore. I had to get a job. I had to realize like, man, everyone's buying better equipment and I'm racing with my family and I had a job, but it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. So I was in that kind of period where you have to decide what are you going to do? And racing was just a fun thing that we did. So through a little luck, through a fellow racer, I was able to get a job at a radio station, which is what I was passionate about. And so my racing started to lessen because when you work in radio, you work on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And so I really stopped bracket racing for a pretty significant period. The car fell into disrepair. You know how it is when you don't use something.
Yep.
You don't use it.
Oh, yeah.
Fog didn't exist back then. I didn't know to do that. And so it fell into disrepair. I got married. I bought a dragster. A whole bunch of different stuff. But in the end, 10, 15 years go by and the car really didn't get out. Miami Hollywood closed. Moroso was the only track. And so at some point in that arc, I end up at the NHRA as a track announcer without giving you my entire career journey. And I've got this awesome car sitting in the garage. And a lot of people within our NHRA community pressured me, like, what's up with the car, Joe? And I'm like, well, I'm out here working. And they're like, yeah, and why don't you do something with the car? And I'm like, well, I'm working. And they're like, no, that is your job. I remember Kelly Wade, who is an incredible journalist, one of many, but she said, Joe, that will help you with your job. Don't look at it like I always viewed it as play. I'm going to go play with my car. I'm going to go work on something. Like, it's not my profession. Mm-hmm. It's the hobby. But Jason Line was all over me early on. Like, Joe, the car. And he was intensely, he'd get off from a run. He'd go number one. He'd get out. I'd give him the ET slip on the top end. And he'd ask me about the Pontiac. Like, what's up with the Pontiac? What are we doing? Right. It was great because it really did motivate me. And slowly we got the Project Pontiac thing rolling. And I got to know Gary Stinnett very well through just being at the track and talking with Gary. And we hit it off, and we're at the Engine Performance Expo, something that I did with Total Seal. I don't know that everybody knows about the close relationship I have with Total Seal because of the Hidden Horsepower podcast. Okay. So like I got to hang out with a lot of these, really next level engine guys. And Gary was one of them. And he told me about the Foggett brand and all of those things. And as time went by, he got interested in the Project Pontiac deal. And so the idea was he was going to just freshen the engine that was in it. So I like, this is great. We'll do a Total Seal bit, right? We'll take this old engine, we'll freshen it, we'll ring it with some new Total
rings and bearings in it, and
that's it.
We're good.
We're good. I brought the car out a couple times, but just something was not right. I couldn't get it back to its previous glory. It just couldn't get it back there. Like, everything we did, something was wrong. And I ended up finding out what that was. We had replaced the converter, and I didn't run the car. Like, I never tested it. Like, it got busy, and turned out that the converter was like way too tight. And so that was one of the many thorns in our side. Anyway, sent the engine to Gary, put it on the dyno, made 600 horsepower, great baseline, super excited. He pulls it apart. the block is cracked all around the main webbing. It's basically junk. And so what am I going to do here? Like I've got, my engine is in Kansas. Interested in doing this project. Total Seal's in to help me. And what am I going to do? Am I going to just send Gary another junkyard Pontiac cast iron block?
So the first block was a Pontiac block.
Yeah, it was a 455. It was a 450. The car came with a 400 from the factory, but we put a 455 in it with a glide. It was a bracket car. So there was a lot of, I could have used a little more gear, but then it wouldn't have been as consistent. But anyway, so at that point, I decided like, no, man, we need to send this guy good stuff. And so here we are, a couple years later, the distributor hold down tab, the alternator mount, and one other part are the only parts that are the same from what we sent him originally. We laugh.
The snowball.
And not even a snowball, a different mountain. We just went somewhere else.
But you're happy, right?
Ecstatic.
The car runs. I mean, I know you haven't had it out much, and I know you were doing some tweaking to it here recently, but I mean, when you debuted it in Orlando,
yes,
that was, I mean, it came around pretty quick, and it was getting to be really consistent.
Oh, absolutely. We alerted everybody to the existence of this Project Pontiac thing. And there's a hashtag, guys. If you want to go find it, we got a YouTube channel as well, some videos, waiting on more editing of the experience, as you can imagine. Bobby, the first win light I got, I found out because Walt texted me. He's watching on the live timing. I'm very bummed that they did not have the live stream in Orlando because it was a very good race, and they had the live stream in Gainesville and it wasn't a good race. You know how that works. It was a bummer. Right. But, the way you come back from a run there, I just pulled into my pit and then I went and got my ET slip. And I was getting the text from you, Walt, and I was like, yes, Walt alerted me to my first win light, which was very exciting. But the car went together. It was a mad thrash. I had told the world that we were going to make Orlando, and it was a great challenge. The engine was displayed at the PRI show in the Foggett booth because we went crazy with it to try to make it as nice as is possible. And there were a lot of people that helped us, like Edelbrock provided cylinder heads and, a long list of people who were super helpful along the way. And we wanted to kind of give back and just showcase it at PRI. So the engine goes from PRI to my house, and we had December and January to put it in, wire it, plumb it, switch brakes. We put TBM brakes on the thing. That was a lot of work over the holidays, and there was no guarantee we were going to make it to Orlando. It was still apart the morning that I had to leave to Orlando. I got there at like 6 p.m. We unloaded on Thursday for the test day, made some test hits, third run down, 1090, and got down to 6 cars in the first race we ran with it. So I was very excited about it. Gainesville out first round. I had a 38 light, which was not good, but brought it home, took it apart, did some checking. The converter stall was like 58. Was it 50? It was like 5,800. We felt like it was a little too low. Talked to FTI, who have been very helpful because of, my relationship with Paul Lee out there. It's like, no, man, you got to use our stuff. And so we just got the converter back, hopefully loosened it up a little bit. And now Walt and Bobby, I'm hoping that this thing stays together for the next decade.
Right.
I really.
So you'll be fine. You got a good engine builder. Gary does a really good job, and he's got a lot of bracket motors out there that's living. And so the next time it'll just be rings and bearings.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got Wyatt Wagner's motor out there too. He does class cars too.
He does. And Bobby has Joe has a GTO, and I know a guy that wins a lot in the GTO.
Oh yeah.
A Hovind.
Certain world champion, Holden, Monaro, right?
Holden, yeah.
It's the same car. It looks exactly the same. It's silver, just like that. I think his is an 04, ours is an 05. Maybe getting ready to sell it, honestly. For those that don't know, my dad passed away, so he and I were always very tight on this whole deal. And that was his car, but there's only so many cars that people can have. Like, there's a lot of cars around here.
I'm sure Cooter has an extra motor.
Oh, really? We're gonna make it a stalker?
I mean, hey,
Good combo, Joe.
All right.
Think about it.
It's only got 18,000 miles on it. This thing is like,
oh, it's mint.
it is.
Mint.
It's
It
mint.
really is. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
So Orlando's got to be your home track at this point, right, Joe? I mean, your Miami International, that closed in the early 90s, right?
92. Yeah. Miami Hollywood Speedway closed in 92. Then Moroso just went down as Palm Beach International Raceway due to the pandemic, although we in our local community.
Not permanent yet, though, right? I mean, they haven't put the nail in that coffin.
The nail is not in the coffin, Bobby. Not yet. The track still there. The tower still up. No timing system. The lighting poles are still there. We go out there with some Skag mowers, and somebody's got a timing system. We got ourselves a drag strip, and in like 2 weeks, we're ready to go. It's about it's about the people who bought it are trying to sell it again, and the number they're asking is just out of the price range of anybody in the world of drag racing. They're asking like $30 million or something.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's not looking good. My closest track is Immokalee in the middle of the Everglades, 8 Mile Airport track. I had gone there off and on over the years. I will brag a race Project Pontiac at Immokalee when the opportunity presents itself. But the closest quarter mile tracks are nearly identically the same distance from me, which is 3 hours and 10 minutes, Orlando and Bradenton. And they're both, a straight drive, one up 95, one across Alligator Alley and 75. But, 3 hours that's not a go there, race and come home kind of day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. I'll do it.
That makes it tough.
This I'm hearing there's going to be a lot of bracket racing over in Bradenton in January. Of course, Wes has got his winter series and stuff going on. Not that my Super Street car is much for that, but there's a lot of racing that goes on here in Florida. I just wish we had something a little closer to the population here in Miami. There's a lot of racing fans here.
Yeah.
We pass NHRA stickers all the time on cars just randomly down here. We have a good, good base, just no place to race.
Well, I'm hoping Palm Beach opens back up. And let me tell you something. The wife and I went down there in January. Okay. So naturally, she goes on Zillow to look up places in Palm. Like, she's like, oh, I love it here. I wish we could move here. Well, ever since then, I've been getting emails from Zillow that the prices are coming down in Palm Beach. Prices are coming down. Prices are coming down. So that $30 million, they're never going to get it. Maybe they'll just give it up for peanuts, and we'll be back out there racing next year.
Man, I hope so. Have you been there, Bobby? Have you raced
existence?
Have you raced that track?
No, I've never been there. Not
so
today.
They did the redo, the old school Moroso Motorsports Park way back in the day. When they did the redo, the refresh in the early 2000s, they made it an all concrete track, and they did some really great things. And they did some things that, they wanted to be able to run the road course and the drag strip at the same time. They couldn't do that back in the day. We would be in line to go in at 5 o'clock. And then you'd have these Ferrari guys out there with their Testarossas and their F40s, and they were making laps, and then they would drive home. They would drive out the gate, and we would see all these exotics. And here we are, a bunch of drag racers pulling in the gate, and we would unload at 5. We'd get our 2, sometimes 3 time runs. First round would be at 8 p.m. and we would get the race done before midnight. I have no idea how we did it. We'd have over 100 cars in each class, but we did it. When they redid it and made it Palm Beach International Raceway, they separated the two, and they put the drag cars over on one side of the track. Kind of changed the character of the whole place. And it was great to have an awesome track, but there was something that was just never the same about it. Don't get me wrong. If we can save that thing, I'm all about it. We already cost somebody $90 million because they had that thing sold, and a bunch of racers showed up at the town hall, and it was a protest, and we stopped the sale. I mean, not we, they stopped the sale. Just in case those guys are watching. Right. They had that thing sold for $90 million, man, from what I heard.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, that's Joe as a drag racer. Behind the wheel, cool car. how do we transition into announcing and doing all of the things that you're doing behind the scenes with NHRA and how does that all get started for as becoming big time Joe Castello?
Career arc. I'm a talker, right? You guys probably have figured that out. I like to kick it. And I started announcing in school and high school. There was like a broadcast club, morning announcements, that kind of deal. And the parents recognized that I was always at the track, Miami Hollywood. We had test and tune Wednesday, Thursday, and then bracket racing on Saturday. And it would alternate between Miami Hollywood and Moroso Motorsports Park. So we had at least 2 nights a week of the track being open, and sometimes 3. Every other week it was 3. So I was there all the time. And my mother was like, why don't you try to get a job there? Like you're there. Why don't you try to get a job there? I was like, that sounds good. So one day I walked up to the tower and was like, hey, I'd like to apply for a job. I was 15. They were like, well, what can you do? And I was like, I don't know. I can do anything. What do you need me to do? And they're like, well, can you like speak on the microphone? And I was like, I'm in broadcast club at school. That'll work. And so they said, okay. And they hired me as the announcer, one of 2. And there was a veteran gentleman there named Dale Hanks, was a great guy, like my first announcing mentor. And the guy was awesome. And so, I was a kid out there, sportsman to the lanes. And I did my best. I went out there like Wednesday nights, test and tune, 5.0 Mustang, heaven, man. Like you can't imagine how many 5.0 Mustangs we had in Miami in 1989.
Oh man, Fox Body.
Vanilla Ice might have been there for all we know.
Bobby, Vanilla Ice was 100% there. I saw him there in his GMC Cyclone.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, like I saw him. It was a big deal the night Vanilla Ice was at Miami Hollywood Speedway. It went through the whole crowd. You know how a rumor goes to the crowd coming over there. Vanilla Ice is 4 cars back. I went down there and I looked, and you could see the hair over the dark tinted windows. The whole deal, man. You were joking. That was real. Vanilla Ice is there. Yeah, he raced there. So announcing took a back seat to me racing. Like I stopped announcing when Miami Hollywood went away. I stopped announcing and I just raced only because I had to make a choice. And I'm not good enough to do both. I like to focus on whatever I'm doing, and then maybe I'll go up and announce after I've been eliminated. But while I was at Moroso racing, one of the other racers worked at a radio station, and my dad and him got talking. He's like, hey, what does Joe want to do for a career? And he's like, he'd like to work on the radio. He's like, tell him to call me. So I got a job as a board operator at Sports Radio 560 QAM. And, like working the faders and stuff for the host, sports producer, one of our sports radio stations. And so that was where I really wanted to be, is working in radio. I have always loved, talk radio, guys, not like DJ, talk radio. Think the most modern example is Howard Stern, but we had guys down here named Ron and Ron. We had a gentleman named Phil Hendry. There was a guy in Miami Market named Neil Rogers, made $1 million a year, like way back, like, irreverent talk show host, that character. Think about the movies, talk radio, the guy gets murdered in the end. That's what I wanted to do. And so I got a job in this radio station where I was doing it. And so that's what really pried me away from racing. And I went from there, radio career going. I got a job at XM Satellite Radio, working on NASCAR radio, because I was always still connected to motorsports. And through XM Satellite Radio, I met a couple of really cool people that got a job at Moroso Motorsports Park. And they needed an announcer for an event called the Pro Winter Warm-Up that was happening down there. You remember like 2008, 2009, 2010, something like that. And they asked me to announce there. This lady named Susan Pollock. May she rest in peace. Young lady, she passed, but she was a PR rep. And I knew her through working on XM. As much as I worked at NASCAR radio, I was still a drag racer. And I would always try to like push drag racing. And they would get mad at me, right? Like, this is the NASCAR channel, Joe. It's like, yeah, but drag racing is super cool. And I remember one night, Tommy Johnson Jr. called in. Cameron Evans called in, son of Steve Evans. I was telling a story about Steve Evans. Cameron called in. It's like, hey, man, Steve's my dad. A lot of cool moments on XM like that. And people knew that I did some drag racing stuff. So they invited me to call the Pro Winter warm-up. So that was one of my returns. I think I called a Super Chevy show there just to bail them out. That got me back on the mic as a track announcer from Radioland. And I did that a couple of years, and Bob Fry was retiring like in 2012. He knew he was going to retire, and he heard me announcing when he was there at one of those Pro Winter warm-ups. And he came over and he said, "Hey, listen, I know you do a show and you talk on the radio and drag racing, the drivers. I'm going to retire. Would you be interested in trying out?" I'd never in a million years, guys, never thought about being an NHRA national event announcer. Never. I'm a race fan or a bracket racer, right? I go there for either to race or to be entertained. I never put myself there. And yeah, sure, I'll try it. And here we are, 14 years later, and I'm out there, pretty much full time and trying to not get fired.
And you're still a fan. You're still a fan. That's the cool part about it. I think that's what makes you, in my opinion, makes you a good announcer, because you're still a fan of everything that's going on. You're still a student. You don't act like you know everything about everything that's going on. And you receive feedback or you pay attention and somebody pulls your coattail and say, "Hey, Joe, my name's pronounced like this," or
which was it? Was it Leitch or was it Litch? I was going with Litch.
Walt was right.
Was I right?
Yeah.
I didn't see Joey. Bobby didn't put it up.
Yeah.
Bobby
Walt was right.
Because I was right.
That was where the way my experience on Bobby Fazio's show started, feeling stress. Have I been saying this guy's name wrong this whole time? Oh my gosh. So is it Litch?
He said Walt was right. And Walt, you were saying Litch, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank goodness.
Reggie
All right. But yeah, that's the whole deal. The whole job. I don't know everything. I'll never know anything or everything, anything sometimes. Yeah. I walk into the race every week, knowing that there's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know, and I got to figure it out. I got to find out as much as I can. And so that's why I spend as much time as I can down in the pits, talking to people, trying to learn as much as I possibly can. And that's just how I expend every weekend. And, it is the best I can do at this point.
Yeah. You're a real sponge. And the stock, super stock guys are kind of a fickle old group sometimes. And they're like, yeah, they can be. And, and you got guys on that use the interweb and they're like, "Oh man, this guy that won 12 championships at my local race and he's running his first national event, and Joe Castello don't know his name and his history." Well, Joe Castello never saw him before. We don't let's introduce him to Joe Castello. And I just see a lot of that stuff on the internet, and I have to shake my head on it because they expect you guys to know everything about everybody in every region. And I don't think that's possible.
Well, and maybe it is possible. I don't know if we could get $250,000, 52 weeks a year. I could spend a lot of time. But no, it's with travel and the pros, the Mission Food Series requires a lot of effort. I am gathering information every single week, every minute that I'm at the track. And with WFO, as you guys know, a lot of time when I'm not at the track, I live drag racing, but it is really impossible to know every single person, especially the way someone does who is from that area, right? Correct. Which is why this year it's so exciting that we have what we're calling local regional announcers who are coming out to the racetrack from that area, that they do know the stories. And we ask, as much as we can, what happened with this guy? This guy is, he bracket races out here. He's won multiple track championships at this track. Again, a lot of effort goes in, and the product that you see is the product as best as it's going to be at this moment. But, in a year, I'll know more. It's just, it's a great challenge, the sport that we have, where you literally have hundreds of personalities that you keep track of. And They're all doing something amazing every week. Like you mentioned this past weekend. What better weekend can you have than that, right? You got racing on the West Coast, you got racing on the East Coast, you got 3 races at South Georgia Motorsports Park. It was awesome.
4, because you finished Gainesville, Bristol. One category had Gainesville. You had Bristol that finished. You had a Sports Nationals and a divisional. So you finished 4 races at one track.
Wow,
it's impossible. And like you mentioned, the pros, and it's so much but you have 100 pros when super stock just themselves, and you have to worry about, as an announcer, you got to worry about the .90 classes and the assortment of classes. You have nearly 2,000 super stock racers that enter events over a season, and there's more that's licensed, I'm sure. So it's just impossible for you to know everything.
Well, yes, but I want to know as much as I can. And so that's why I solicit people to reach out to me and on Facebook, like, hey guys, I have gripes too, right? Like a lot of these racers that you just mentioned, help us out, guys. Like, hey, how about a little help? Like, don't make me be a detective also, right? Like, how about you just send me an email? It's like, tell me something. If you tell me, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. You can come find me. I'm in the tower. You got paper. You could write something. You could hand it to me. I will take it. Like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing in the world when a racer approaches me with a piece of paper with something that they want said on it. Like, that is gold, because then I'll bring it up there and I'll say to Galvin, or I'll say to whoever's with us, hey, look at this guy, this is that car. You know, when he comes up, he wants this. That's great. Like a little help here, and we'll get it right. But sometimes, Walt, they don't want, we're not gonna help you. We're not gonna reach out to you. We're not gonna call you. We're not gonna email you. If you do say my name wrong, I'm not gonna tell you. You can tell us, man. Tell me. I don't know about those other guys, but I do know. Everybody is totally cool. If we're calling him Fazio, tell us. Pop us a text.
Fazio is the only one I don't like. Fazio or Fazio are the ways.
Bobby Fazio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, I always appreciated how you come in the pits and do talk to the racers, because that's how you do get the best backstories, and then you naturally have things like good, interesting things to say about those racers when you are back up in the tower. So when I see you or any of your fellow announcers riding around on a golf cart and talking to sportsman racers in the pits, like I think that's really cool. You've come in the lanes. You've put a microphone in my face in the lanes at least once or twice over the last couple of years. I think that's cool. And I see you in Attention in the Pits segments there on NHRA's channel, YouTube channel and Facebook channel. And it seems like you're highlighting a lot of stock and super stock racers. So that's good for us too. We appreciate that.
Well, so thank you for saying that. I appreciate that, because I take personal ownership, myself and Nikki from the social media department, about Attention in the Pits. It was a concept that we came up with while talking about, we have the coolest cars in NHRA, and we have to document them. We have to showcase them. And it's not always the car. Sometimes it's the character or the personality. But we got to do something. And so we started Attention in the Pits. Now we're over 150 episodes, and, they do fairly well. I'd like them to do better. Some random Camaro on YouTube very often will get like hundreds of thousands of views. Some of ours, I don't know what the deal is with drag racing, but we've got these amazing drag race cars, these people telling the stories about the cars and what they are and how they had them in high school, and it's their first car, and all of these amazing things that we pull out of them. The In the Lanes feature is my favorite, but it's interesting that you bring it up, because I apprehensive about talking to racers as they get into their zone. You know what I'm talking about? They're in the office. Yeah. Here comes the guy with the microphone. He's going to ask him some flippant question, but it's not about that. It's about showing people who are at home how cool the lanes are, the best area on the track. You've got more car per inch than anywhere in the world. They're awesome. You hear them, they're running, everybody's getting ready. This is energy, and there's nearly no coverage of that area. So when we do in the lanes as a feature bit, fortunately, I believe, like you just said, it seems to have been well received by most. I'm sure there's one or two people that maybe don't want to talk to me, and I will try to read their face.
They can just give you the look, or I do the same thing when I'm walking. I read the body language. I know the racers that don't ever want to be bothered, and I just don't go near them. But when I see somebody that's got their window down and like they kind of want, you can tell when they want to talk, and you talk to them. So
give me the look, man. Give me the look. Give me the Gen Z stare, and I will go the other direction.
And it's the reason we started. And it's the reason that I wanted to do this, because I always said Stock and Superstock were the greatest car show on earth. And I didn't think that we were getting, enough recognition, I would say. I mean, Joe, you're at all these events. We race at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And I don't know what kind of magic powers you have, but if you could maybe get us a little more stage time, we'd appreciate that.
Well, let's talk about that. When do I'm there for the whole thing, and I hear every side of it, and I know everybody's position, and I want to solve the problem. But it seems like this Rubik's Cube of a puzzle. So when do you want to race? Let's create it, like, for fun right now, like, right before Top Fuel, or right behind Top Fuel, or like, how do we do that? Right, because these Pro Mod guys, man, they think their cars are pretty cool too. Congruity HR Pro Mod, and there's so many people with the same problem. We've got this, what is it, a wealth of blessings in the NHRA, that we've got all these cars. You've got a lot of people saying we have too many cars, and that, like, there are some that think we should take the Lucas Oil series and separate it from the Mission Food series, which I totally disagree with. No. I just don't know how you solve the problem. Like, stock eliminating.
There are people that do want that, but not me. I wouldn't run national events anymore if the pros weren't there.
Isn't that the worst idea ever? To get rid of? I don't care. I love Top Fuel, I love Pro Stock, but I need to see the cars going around. I know there's the thought, oh, we're just the track cleaners, or we're just the fill-in. I don't look at it like that. It's like this, I'm going to use a weird term, festival of speed, where everywhere you look, there's something awesome going on. And maybe you're a super stock fan and you focus on that, while at the same time, John Force is doing his thing. I just don't know how you make all of these things happen in prime time, if you will.
Well, Joe, I'm sure you grew up, you went to Gainesville. Was that like, did you and your father go to the Gator Nationals for
1980? First one, 1980. Haven't missed a Gator Nationals since. And he and I did 40 consecutive years together at Gainesville.
Yeah. Now, when you went to the Gator Nationals, when you went on a Sunday, was Stock and Superstock down to 4 cars in each category? Do you remember?
No.
They were running when you got there and you were parking, I'm sure, right? And they had at least three or 4 rounds to go on a Sunday.
Yes.
Did they not?
That's what I recall seeing. So we would go all 3 days. And so, being a kid, I don't really recall the schedule, but right. I think they were at least at 8 cars. They couldn't possibly have been any more than 8 cars.
No. They weren't running first round on Sunday, but
no.
Yeah, my ideal schedule, for the sake of time tonight, would be if it's a 4-day national event, which is most of the national events that I run, I'd say, are the 4-day. You qualify on Thursday. We used to run class eliminations at the nationals that I run, and that would be on Friday. And that would actually be, I did that as late as like 2017 at Englishtown before that closed. And that place, you couldn't even start an engine before 10 a.m. And then we would run first round on Saturday, and then maybe second round and third round kind of mixed it. Second round mixed in with the pros for sure, like maybe somewhere like right before Top Fuel, like you said. And then maybe third round would be at the end of the day when the main event, when the pros are finished. But you got at least that, like, I'd say 1.5 rounds of stage time, that crowd time, the time where you could take a picture of your car and have like people in the stands in the background. You could take that photo and you could pitch that to a sponsor, or you could say, like, I won this event. Look at all these people that are in the stands. Not like I won this event. It was 9:00 at night on a Saturday night. There's nobody there. And it's just not like the feel that it's the cycle that we're in. Like if there's nobody watching, you're not going to get any sponsorship. If you're not going to get any sponsorship, some people may not be able to race, but you're not going to get the contingency sponsors that used to pay all the money. And like, that's like a big complaint that a lot of racers have is I used to make 20 grand when I won a national. Now you make 6. Like the contingency sponsors.
Is that what it is? 6? What do you mean, in contingency money or to overall?
Yeah.
6?
No, overall, because we get, I mean, I'm not going to complain to you about payouts, Joe, but we get $1,800.
You're the first person to complain to me about payouts, man.
It's $1,800 to win a national in Superstock, and then the rest comes from the contingency money. So the contingency money used to be the additional 17 or 18,000, depending on how many stickers you had.
Right.
Now it's like, I think if you're pretty well stickered up, you're looking at $7,000 to $8,000. You'd have to ask somebody like, a Hidalgo or like a Warner brother or somebody that wins the nationals on the regular. When I won, I got 65.
Well, look. So here's what I will say. Obviously I work for the NHRA as a contractor, and I am in the middle of it all, and I can't control any of it. And so I get exactly what you're saying, and the numbers don't make sense. Like one thing I did when I went to Orlando and I went through the process and I bought like 6 tanks of fuel, and I like, oh man, I totally get where everybody is coming from. The passion of racing and winning only goes so far. Like you got to get some return, especially when you win. But I'm thinking that, okay, it's Sunday. So how far are we going down in the rounds? Like, because the finals in front of a big crowd. Like if you win 9 out of 10 times, like it's not Saturday night. It's only Saturday night if we've had rain or we've got weather coming the next day. That's the only time they're running you on Saturday night. And I can tell you that they make a tremendous effort to provide coverage on NHRA TV. So that's a clip for a sponsor that you can do. And there's some guy, poor guy, that's got to stay there to the bitter end when everybody else is left. And he's down there on the very top end waiting for the last driver, like in Epping this year, to do those interviews. And that guy is me.
Yeah.
And I'm there, and we're waiting patiently to give that moment to the driver,
all right,
so that they can show their sponsor and get like this interview. That was not happening in the 1980 Gator Nationals. Like really all you got was Big Mac saying, and Superstock was won by, and they would freeze it on the finish line. I recall seeing those. So there has been a tremendous step forward in the coverage you get. The semifinals is in front of a packed house. So you get 2 runs in front of a packed house, semifinals, finals. There has been debate about, should we have 8 cars left, or should we have just the finals left? And so I'll turn it on you. I'll use this as a market research opportunity here. I have heard many people on both sides of this debate. Okay. Louis Bloom used to always say there's not enough sportsman cars running on Sunday because you want to showcase these cars. I can totally dig that. So maybe 8 cars should be left overall. That's plan 1. But if you do that, then you do have less time for these live television windows on Fox, and they're trying to sell the sport, and they're trying to get money in the sport, and they're trying to make it a sport. Like, NASCAR got millions and hundreds of millions of dollars being a TV sport, and that would certainly help everybody if we could get that. And so they have tailored their show to television as much as they can. And they've also tailored their show to people who say 8 hours at the track on Sunday is way too freaking long for any family, right? Like they want a 4 to 5 hour entertainment experience, and then they're out the door. That's not me, but that's what's going on. Then the other side of it is this. There are racers that if they lose, they want to go home. They don't want to wait till Sunday to run that round. Like we've had a lot of people suggest that we run it out Saturday night. Why don't you just run it out Saturday night and leave Sunday to the pros? There's no shortage of concepts to be thrown out there. So how many cars should be left in the field on Sunday?
I think 3 rounds Saturday, 3 rounds Sunday. So 8. I think 8 would be nice.
Walt?
Well, what I'm getting from this conversation is one, there's no perfect answer. And I'm starting to think that Joe Castello is not in charge of scheduling or payouts. I don't think so. I don't envy your position because I know you get hammered with why
But
don't
it's
we run
good.
it all on Saturday? I mean,
It's good not having
it's
responsibility though. Like honestly, like I'm not in charge of any of that. So
right,
I'm
but you
free
hear it.
to
But
concept, to come up with ideas and like try to work out the solution, like the 8 cars. All right. So the round of 8 happens after first round of Top Fuel. And you'd have to hustle that. But that's what
If it did, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I figured it would be before. I figured it would be at like 9 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning or whatever before the
before our
main event,
pre-race
before the top fuels like
before the
fire up.
pre-race. Well, see,
before the pre-race show. See, that's the thing. We've got this pre-race show, which a lot of people come to. They love. They walk the track. It's part of race day. The first 2 cars down the racetrack, unless we've had an oil down or some sort of incident, we like it to be Top Fuel. And then the next cars after the Mission Food Series are typically Congruity Pro Mod or something. So, like, I can tell you that the people who watch the clock are trying their best to, I don't want to use the word cram, but organize every second of the day, like every second of the day.
Yeah, to the minute. I know how they say like, yeah, this class should take 6 minutes and this one should take 8. So yeah, I do. I want to spend the day in race control just to learn, like, and see all of that, so I can not sound like so ignorant when I
Well, and that's my blessing and curse is I'm in there and I see what's going on, and it's a racer will say something and they'll be aggravated, and if they knew what I knew, if they had just seen all the shuffling that has gone on to try to accommodate everybody, like those Pro Mod guys, tremendous investment. How about alcohol funny car? Oh my goodness. Is there a category that is more underappreciated than alcohol funny car, right? Like they've got incredible machines, quasi anonymous. This problem extends top to bottom, but do you want to get rid of anybody? I don't. I love seeing those cars. So what I think the solution is to just, for all of us, and this is what we're trying to do as best as we can, is to do a better job with the time that you've got. Like that, round 1 stock eliminator, Friday or Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Like that's like this golden time. And the people that care are watching. And we've got to try to get NHRA TV out there. And when we do something free on YouTube, hopefully more people share. And I do agree. Like I feel that we need to continuously work to do better on that. Like working with the racer to do better on that. But we're not there yet.
I didn't answer your question exactly, Joe. Bobby and I are kind of on opposites because I kind of think, and you get the pushback on it, and you mentioned the Saturday thing for the sportsman. I always thought, well, not always, but I come to the realization that if we're only going to have semis or finals on Sunday, we could have Lucas Oil Saturdays, but that would push every event really to have to be 4-day events, and then there's a whole nother, like you said, a Rubik's Cube of things that it opens. Okay, well, how do we do that, and how do we schedule that, and now what tracks can we have 4-day events and all of that stuff? But I thought, yeah, Lucas Oil Saturdays, and then you have Mission Food Sundays with the pro stuff, and you run the finals of Lucas Oil Saturday in between the pro sessions. So everybody's still there, everybody's still waiting, everybody, and then you got full stands and all of that stuff. And then the racer can travel on Sunday, the guy who has to be back to work on Monday.
I've back to work. Can some of these people work? Yes, they do. They have jobs.
Yes. So I've threw that out there before, and I've had tons of people say, man, that sounds great. That sounds great. But then you have the people that say race day is Sunday.
Race day is Sunday. And
Sunday.
People None of those people who come on Sunday will see a Lucas Oil car of any kind.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you
Sunday
have
was
some
the only
people
day
that
that I used
only
to
come on
go
Sunday.
when I was a
Yep.
kid. Like
Some people only come on Sunday.
we would go
Right.
one day because it's not, if like a family of 4 goes to the track on Sunday, you're looking at it's like $50-$60 per person. So you're looking at $200. Not everybody's going to go every day. And so if they just go Sunday, they're not going to see a lot.
I'm not saying it's not an issue. All right, so here's my so we did not solve that problem, right?
No,
but
we didn't.
Pete Lancier's on there. That's my buddy, and he says 8 cars is the magic number. There's been discussion, So anyway, we're talking about one round. What do you think of this? This is something that I pitched, and it happened by accident either earlier this year or the end of last year, and I thought, that's interesting. We ran to the final round on Saturday night. Like, we didn't run the final, but we finished the semis. So we knew who the final round was going to be the next day. Something that we never really get to do that I think is very important. And it's a problem for all of our classes is like, when the Cowboys and the Patriots are going to play, people get to think about it and talk about it and analyze it for a week. They like dive into the minutia, and that's how fandom expands. The sports radio, as you know, is my background. People calling in and thinking about it, but we never really have time to think very much about anything because it's coming. The next thing is coming. It's coming up. It's coming. What's the next thing? Final round. Dan Fletcher and Joe Santangelo. Oh, and there they go, and that's it. But wouldn't it be cool, and this is what I'm pitching here, wouldn't it be cool if that's the final round, Fletcher and Santangelo, they get down and said, now Saturday night, we know the final. Those two are going to race tomorrow. And everybody who really cares can think about it, can talk about it. We could put out some social media features. You could maybe do an interview with them both. You could talk to them about each other, about their race. You have time, which is the problem with everything. We don't have time. We're running all these cars. We're getting it down the road. We're getting the event in. It's a great challenge. The weather, the live TV, all of these problems. If you got to the final 2 in each category, and then as part of the plan, you hyped it, a social media graphic with the 2 people that are going to be in the final against each other, kind of like a fight graphic, like nose to nose, pushing that out. All the racers would be pushing it out on their social media. Like, this is the final round of our category. They wouldn't do that, by the way, but wouldn't it be great if they did? Like, yeah. I think to me, that gives us the opportunity to hype something cool as opposed to what we're doing now. What say you about that?
Walt? I think I like it. I mean,
I like it for the marketing aspect of it. I think it's really good.
Or we could just pick 2 out of the 8 to hype up.
See, that's the kickback. It's always going to be people are going to want more. And Bobby and I have discussed this, and I know how he stands on it. But the hype aspect of it turns it into a grudge race. It turns it into a WWE or something like that, and that can bring some stuff. And and if Dan Fletcher's going to be there 200 times, that'll start. Oh wait, this guy's here again. This guy's here. Oh, I saw it. Oh, Santangelo and Fletcher again. Let's see who wins this battle. And this is the 3rd time this season, so it can be a really good marketing thing. But it's a small display.
No, I get it.
How about Joe?
Kicking around ideas here.
Quick idea would be if there were 8 left, you guys do that driver intro. I mean, could you just have, and these are the final 8 guys in super stock, and they just walk out on the stage, wave, and then go and like get out of here. And these are the final 8 people in super comp. All right, see you later. Like that, or is that not? That's not good enough because you can't like hype it up.
No, so I think that, again, not speaking in an official capacity, but the people that I work with who produce the pre-race ceremony have always leaned towards trying very hard to give Lucas Oil racers as much love, spotlight, appreciation, hype as is possible. Thus, the Parade of Champions after it's over, that thing that we've started where we interview the winner in front of the crowd,
Yeah.
hopefully,
And
if it
that's
all works
awesome.
out.
I
And,
really appreciate that. I think that's great.
those things. I would like that. Mike McMahon is down here, and he says about the Jumbotron going away, like after the pros. So I have all these wonderful thoughts too, right? Like, yeah, what about that? And those things come down to like hours worked and the people whose job it is to run the screen. And those guys are like 2 hours of overtime already, and they're done, man. They're done at their end of their shift on the Jumbotron. And now the race is over. And just because we have 3 more rounds of Lucas Oil Series action, they've got to get that truck down the road. That truck doesn't only do NHRA drag racing. It's got to be at another event in a couple of days, 3 states over, right? And I don't know the full schedule, but there's always a reason. There's always a reason. It's not because they said, you know what, we're out of here. We're going to drink beers at the bar. Although maybe they deserve that too. They've worked a really long and difficult weekend out here at the same time. But as far as the pre-race show, the drivers that would left, that's an organizational thing. It's very hard to get to round up the drivers that we round. The pro drivers have PR reps. They keep them where they need to be. Sometimes they don't always make it. They don't always get the word of what, who's going to be the marquee matchup, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. For us to connect with, notify for, let's say we do it as we have now with the semifinals, 4 drivers and have them walk across the stage at the pre-race show. Like, I like the idea. I would totally do it. How would we get a hold of these people? Where are they for our reps to get a hold of them? Would they know to come and report? The mechanism of it would be a challenge.
Right. This brings me back to some of what we were talking about the racers and correcting names and everything. And we need a ruling. Is it McMahon or McMahon?
Right.
We need a ruling. So Mike, let's get that straight, Mike.
Now I feel like I have asked him to his face. Me and Mike were hanging out in Bristol, and I feel like he has told me. He and I talk a lot. We hung out in Orlando as well. Yeah. I feel like I'm saying it the right way, but I would love to know one way or another.
But great joke, because I've been calling him Mike McMahon all these years.
We'll get a ruling.
All right, Joe, here we go. $1. See if I can lose 2 for 2 here.
Here we go.
But
the dramatic music.
Something you mentioned, and like I was saying about the racers approaching you, and like you're saying, you being accessible, the pros have the PR people to reach out and tell you this and that. We are our own PR. Everybody who's listening to this, super stock racers, you are, unless you're going to hire Sadie or when Courtney was doing it or something, we are our own PR. So we need to reach out to Joe. We need to reach out to these other people and say, hey, look, this is how I say my name. This is who I'm working with this weekend. This is my only national event in my backyard, and I got Joe Blow's muffler shop on the side of it for this particular weekend. we need to discuss this stuff.
We do. Well, so Mike McMahon he's dodging. He's the artful dodger. Look at this guy. We'll all get together in India and decide. Tell us the name, Mike. Come on, man.
All right. If we got to do all that, we'll raise the stakes to $2.
Walt, okay. So on that note, like, look, everybody who has a job has little annoyances about the job, 100 things. And dealing with racers, as much as I am one and we love them, there are some minor things that I think all racers should do that they don't do that would make everybody's job so much easier. And you just said it. You have to be your own advocate. You have to be your own advocate. So what does that mean? The social media stuff, right? Like, nobody cares what sandwich you ate for lunch. True. Nobody cares what sandwich you ate for lunch. But if you've got a little stock eliminator car, you should have a Facebook page or a social media outlet or something for that operation. You really should. And you should be posting the basic information. Who's helping you out? Your own little station. You're broadcasting about your team. If you want the information to be out there, you got to put it out there. well, I don't have the time. You definitely do have the time for the core information. And I can assure you that someone within our little unit, whether it be myself or Jason Galvin or one of our other announcers, Brian Loans, those guys are on social media all the time. We see it because we follow. You follow us, we follow you, we're friends. And don't be afraid to put that information out there. Or, like I said, write it on a sheet of paper. Advocate for yourself goes a million miles, especially when you're at home at your local track, not even at the NHRA. You walk up to that track announcer before the race starts and you shake his hand and you look at him and you'll be like, I'm so-and-so. And that car is my car. And I just want to say hi. It's like, oh man, you're not just some name on some screen anymore. You're a person that I know. And I've looked in your eyes and we had a moment together. And now it's like almost we're friends. And I want to see you do well. And that's something that not a lot of people do. And if they do it, it works so well to getting whoever it is to advocate for you, for your sponsor, for your program. Number two, I would say is like, make sure that stuff in the computer is as right as you can make it. Like some guys got some really old stuff in there, man, like old news.
Well, why did you change it to the government names, Joe?
What do you mean? Well, that's because, okay. That's funny you say that because it is government names. And now it's like, all right, this guy's name is James, but he probably wants to be Jim. James is his government name. I'm going to call him Jim. Jimmy. No, my name is James.
And it's really Bo.
Don't call me. Right. It's really Bo. Because the announcer screen pulls the data from your waiver that you sign, the digital tech card. And as much as that is a great and amazing innovation, the name from the digital tech card, which is also a legal document, which is why everybody is writing their names like Thurston, parentheses, nickname, call me, Jimbo, somewhere down there in the comment section, extremely helpful. Because right now everybody is Joseph and James and Michael and Leonard.
I had somebody watch the whole race and they were like, I thought Bobby was going to be at the race. It's Robert. Robert Fazio. There he is. So I would recommend that if that's what we're talking about for all you racers out there, in somewhere in the comment section, what you want to be called as opposed to your legal document name. And we do have these local regional announcers that are coming in and they are looking at the screen as much as the screen is not always telling the full story. It's not always going to be me who's out there at every event or an Alan Reinhardt who's been to 30 years worth of events. It's going to be someone, and you got to help that person. Like you got to help them a little bit. Like this is this, or this is that, or my name is pronounced this way, and you write it in there. And it goes so far. It's just like, if I'm giving any advice to the racer, and I did it myself. I walked up there in Orlando and I know Homer already. And I said, hi, I'm Joe Castello and I'm here and Project Pontiac is my thing. And it's a 1978 Trans Am and my dad bought it brand new. And I bent his ear and I imprinted my information into his brain. And now you're his favorite car.
And I'm now in the favorite car along with everybody else. But do that. That's my point, guys. It's not a secret. It's you control it. Like people want to know you. They want to know you. They want to know about you. You go up and you take your time. You catch them somewhere and the whole relationship changes. And you're not one of many. You're someone that is a known person and maybe even a friend. And you know how that it just there's a different tone. And that's what I try to do. I try to be friends with as many people out there. I try to have like a real, as best as I possibly can, relationship with as many people as I possibly can so I can tell their stories and know what they're up to. And it's not easy.
Yeah. I didn't think it would be, but I wanted you to explain. I wanted you to touch base with some of our people, the class racing people, that not to say that they don't watch and tune into WFO Joe because other WFO radio, because I know we got a lot of cross contamination going on.
Yeah.
But there are some that don't, or maybe, like you said, they won't reach out, but they'll sit on the internet or they sit at home festering about a mistake that was made that you didn't know or the other guys didn't know they made. So it's nothing malicious, it's nothing bad. It's hey, let's talk, let's communicate. We're all friends here. Let's get
Absolutely.
it right.
Absolutely. Sometimes you're thinking the right thing and your mouth says the wrong thing. Like that's a 1,000 times. Anybody that's got a relationship or a marriage knows that. And you in my like the way I work is I have a buffer, like I'm thinking about what I'm going to say, and then eventually I say it. And that's where sometimes, the Karate Kid references come from. Oh, like here's an opportunity for a reference, or don't say that. Oh, that is funny. That's a funny thing, but that's not appropriate for this situation. Don't do that. So, and in that buffer, it's right. But what comes out of your mouth isn't always right. It's who knows why that happens. What do you mean I just said that? I didn't just say that. Yes, you did. Did I? Yes, you did. Oh. That happens too. We're imperfect. It's not the hardest job in the world. Certainly not, but it's not an easy thing to just do. Brian says, I need to tell Bobby why he needs a Go Lithium battery.
He said, speaking of partners, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I have a Go Lithium battery, Bobby.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
No
fires, right?
So on this note, I was scared to death of the Go Lithium battery because everyone has made a big deal about lithium batteries. And the last thing I want to see happen to Project Pontiac, it stays at my mom and dad's house where my mom is now, is to have some sort of dangerous situation with all this lithium battery discussion. So as luck would have it, at Gainesville, the NHRA Safety Safari took a couple of batteries that were donated. Was it Calvin Snow who had that horrible incident in Top Sportsman in Gainesville? He had Go Lithium in his car and his batteries were okay. And so the Safety Safari got some word from about a new equipment that puts out lithium battery fires. So they wanted to test the new equipment that puts out the lithium battery fires. And so I am very into this. I want to see what happens with these Go Lithium batteries, and went down there, witnessed the entire process, the Safety Safari shorting them out and trying to make them catch fire. And about an hour and a half later, and several calls to the people at Go Lithium, we couldn't light the thing on fire, man. We couldn't get it to short out. We couldn't get it to catch fire. We couldn't get it to do anything. It just turned to like shreds of like paper. And at the end of the deal, my worry totally disappeared. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like I feel better about it being over there because we couldn't get it. We put a torch on the thing, man. They put a torch, the Safety Safari put a torch on it. And, the outer casing is made of plastic, so plastic will burn, but it just went out. There was no lithium issue. So I'm not an expert and I'm not a chemist, but my, hillbilly scientist is satiated. I feel better about it being in my car. Yeah. Because I watched him try very hard to light this thing up. And they couldn't make it happen. Now, I can't say anything for any other battery manufacturer except for that one. But man, we felt stupid because we couldn't get it to do anything.
That's a good sales pitch. I mean, that would make a great commercial.
Well, they did give me the battery. So in all honesty, Thanks, AJ.
Yeah. Send one to Sargenti and Fazio. Yep. So, all right. Good idea, Mark. Mark, go ahead. Go order one. Mark owns the silver Mustang behind me that I drive in Stock Eliminator.
Beautiful car, Mark. Beautiful car. Let's talk about Bobby. Let's talk about Bobby being like one of the coolest characters out there in the world. I was in Maple Grove, got invited to go up there to the divisional race. Oh. And, after hours, I guess it was Saturday. There's
Doc and Bubba's.
There, yeah.
Doc and Bobby turned me on the Doc and Bubba's. Go ahead.
Doc and Bubba's, man.
Doc and Bubba's.
So me and Mark Dawson, we decide we're gonna go decompress, and he's like, let's try this place, right? There's a big sponsor of the House of Chaos, and it's very close to the track.
Yeah.
And I would never in a million
Ever.
years expect what
Ever.
I got. So you walk in and it's like, what? Where are we? I don't even know how to describe
I mean,
it.
Philly all of a sudden. It's like
Something. It's like Disney. There's this lady. She's doing live. She's singing. She's singing well. She's like putting on this show. Is like the big entertainer. You could be anywhere. And there's Bobby Fazio right there by the stage, and like surrounded by beautiful women. It was a scene. I was like, look at this guy. Look at Fazio. This guy is living the dream.
Yes.
it was my wife's birthday. So she said, I'm going to come to your race this weekend, but my friend and I were going to Doc and Boba's around 5 o'clock, whatever day that was. So whether you're finished racing or not, we're going to be at Doc and Boba's, because I showed it to her, because again, never in a million years would anybody believe there would be a place like that in that farm country next to Maple Grove. So
minutes from the track.
Minutes. Yep.
I think we should do some
Game
sort
changer.
of a fan fest there.
Game
I pitched it
changer,
immediately. I started texting pictures to people in the media department, like, guys, this is right at the track. I'm not saying you could walk there, but it's close enough. We should do something for the national event with Doc and Bubba's.
Yep, just need some good high beams. That's all. Just drive through a couple hills and you're right there.
It's pretty dark. Pretty dark.
It's extremely dark,
man.
but I'd love the drive to the Grove. It's
But that place is going to be a mob scene come nationals, because everybody's finding out about it. So it'll be we have to get there early, Joe. I mean, we'll set up the happy hour table or whatever.
do it. We'll figure out some sort of get something roped off special for the VIPs so that nobody else can get in.
Right. I've been trying to get Walt to come up to the nationals at Maple Grove for years, but he I think he's got a division for it. Like the Tulsa race is always so close to it or something.
It's
so
really close, either the week of or the week after or something like that. It's really
one of my favorite races. The Grove is incredible, and now the Koretsky family. Every time I go there, there's something better. They've done something. They've added. That's what It's easy to be critical. You go to these racetracks, and we all want major league level sporting, palaces. We want our sport to grow and advance just like everything else has. And that starts with the facility, right? And your car, Bobby, like you're looking at it, Walt, you too. And there's always that thing that that is the next thing that you want to improve. Like that's the next thing that I want to improve. And it's the same with your house, and it's the same with your racetrack. Like some racetracks don't improve that thing though. It's just every year, it's like you go back and there's that decal that's just faded and ripping off. It's like, don't they see that? Like everybody sees that faded, ripping off decal, that all they got to do, man, it can't be that much, just $200 or $500 to replace that thing. And the whole place will look different. But because that decal was put on in 1989, and you'll have something new and it'll give you the fresh feeling, right? Why don't they change that? And they don't change that. The Koretsky family has changed everything that they need to change, and they're coming up with stuff that you never even thought of. Doing a great job.
Absolutely.
I commend them. Yep.
Paving, painting, bathrooms, you name it. They've done it.
Yeah, that's my key. Like I've got two big things that I'm always pitching to track owners. One is, amazing bathrooms, because you want to double attendance, right? Like your wife, Bobby, like, does she come to the races a lot?
Yeah, once or a couple times a year. Yeah.
A couple times a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the facilities at the drag strips for the ladies are just so.
Mm-hmm.
If you have really nice bathrooms, though, so that the moms and the daughters and their friends feel comfortable coming. Not everybody's got an RV that they can go escape to. Sorry, it's just not in the cards for a lot of people out there. They're out there. You got to have nice bathrooms, track operators. You got to have nice so that that guys can bring their girlfriends, and their girlfriends can feel good about they got to go. They got to go. That, and it's hot, man. Some sort of covering for the race fans, like a little something, some sort of something.
Some shade.
Some sort of something, a sail. Look at what they've got going on in, Abu Dhabi, right? It doesn't have to be like that. It could be much smaller, but some way to shade the race fans a little bit.
Bowling Green has shade, and it's been there forever. It's got wood seats and everything. Bowling Green got shade. Barrow's got a little shade. It's doable.
Yeah.
You're right.
you don't have, doesn't have to be every single person under the shade. There just needs to be some place to escape to every once in a while.
Yep.
Right. If you want
I've
shade,
never been. I have not been to Bowling Green, Walt. I feel it's a bad stat. I haven't been there yet, but it looks one of the tracks that I would love to go to just for the historic nature.
That's when I went. I went when they first brought back the SportsNationals, because I think it was the original place for SportsNationals. So when they brought it back a few years ago, I went, and really, really cool place. Yeah, it should be on everybody's bucket list if they hadn't been.
I still haven't been, so.
Oh, good. I don't feel
get on there,
then, Bob. You're
gotta
right.
get on there. Yep.
It's a long tow, though, right? Like if you're going to go race there, if you're going to just go do driver interviews, that's one thing. But now I've got to get there. That's one of the places that I got to.
All right. All right. Well, I had an idea. There was something I was going to say about 20 minutes ago. I can't remember, but it was like, I mean, it was going to be hard with the schedule, but it was like if there's a key round, like a key heads up or something, because when NHRA did post the occasional heads up final or something in stock, like 269 Camaros going at it, they get like millions of views on their Facebook page with it. So that's why I wanted them to capitalize on something like that. But
well, so Randy Lynn, who is a personal, friend, she keeps me up whenever she's at the race as best as she can of something that's happening that maybe doesn't have my full attention in the moment, right? Because we've got other things going on as related to the Mission Food Series. But we were in Dallas last year. It's just like, hey, next round, these two fighting for the world championship. Sorensen was racing, and Cooter. Cooter. And we went and we did a feature on that. And we made the time. Nikki from the social media department dropped everything she was doing, and we went and we made a feature about that. We love to know those things.
Yeah.
Okay. And as much as, scanning ahead on the ladders but organizing that deal in the limited time that you might have between rounds is sometimes tough, staffing. But I would recommend to anybody, like if something that is, major,
noteworthy,
noteworthy, back to pop me a text, get me on Facebook, hit me up like, hey man, I think this is interesting. Because I agree. We are trying very hard to capitalize on those runs because they're awesome. Like it's a little spectacle in the middle of hundreds of other things going on. Right. And, so just like we do our best, there's a lot that is going on at a national event in addition to any one class. And we are just, we've added a new show between first and second round called The Next Round, where we realized we weren't really talking up the matchups in the Mission Food Series. You can get Ron Capps and Austin Prock going to race each other. Like that deserves a little pre-gaming. Like, let's talk about it, right? Like, Dean Antonelli and Jimmy Prock, they're about to battle each other. Like this is an epic throwdown matchup. Let's talk about it. And we've started to do that as well, but we can always try to do more. There's no bad ideas, but it has to be put onto the radar. And when you're managing all these different elements, sometimes it's easy to stay focused on the one that's right in front of your face. So send me a text.
A little note, Bobby might not like this, but Joe, you being a .90 class guy right now, the final time trial for .90, I don't think a big enough deal is made of the reaction time, because that determines your wait and see buy.
Yes.
But that'd be something that, just kind of track that, hey, this guy's, 00, just kind of talk it up that everybody's shooting to have the best light in that particular round because it's significant.
I love it. Exactly. Yes.
And that makes it, for the layman or the guy that, I don't allow the starting and stopping it. Oh, wait a minute. This guy was 002. Let me see who's going to be 001 later on or something, and that draws a little bit of attention to, or brings some, some interest in a time trial.
So my experience driving the car kind of awakened that importance in a way that being an announcer didn't fully focus on it. You know what I mean? Oh man, I could be the guy. I could have the buy run. Like that would be really great. so one of the benefits of doing it, I agree with you, Walt. Yeah, man. If you got any more like that, send them.
You know I will.
Walt's full of them. Yeah.
Walt is the most diehard, though, right?
He's the smart one in this group here, you know, in our little
Comp-eliminator
situation here.
world champion crew guy.
Yeah, twice.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, twice.
I mean, he's got 4, but I can only attribute to 2 of them.
He's got
Did you get rings? Do you get rings as the crew guy?
I got a jacket.
Were you available to purchase the ring, or?
I kind of want my own.
All right, that makes sense.
I appreciate it. We're Bruno and I are real good, but yeah, I can earn my own.
You heard it, Bobby. There it is.
I heard it.
He's going after the world.
He's got the talent too, so he can do it. All right. Well, Joe, hey man, I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight and learning about your racing. We already know you're a great announcer, but getting the perspective from your side of things and educating us on, what decisions have to be made at certain times and all the things that are going on at national events and divisional events and all that good stuff. So, hey man, thanks a lot for coming on. And anybody wants to see Joe Castello, WFO radio podcast, or turn on the TV and NHRA.TV, and you'll see him, you'll hear him, and come out to any national event and select divisional events, and you'll hear him. So
yes, I'll be actually in Brainerd the week before the national, doing the double divisional up there. And guys, I really appreciate this. This is awesome. I do my own show, and it's got its own flavor. And we talk about the Mission Food series. I talk as much Lucas Oil series as things come up, and I can. Love the sport of drag racing. Hopefully you can tell that. But this has been a lot of fun. I really wish, the thing that I just can't get over is that we're all close. We're very close to where we want to be. There's just a couple of little things that we need to tweak, and this sport can become more popular. Like, how in the world, no offense to Street Outlaws, but I don't know. I think our stuff is cooler, man. We got a real sport going on here. And I think if we can all figure out how to work together, and there are moments where definitely things don't go right, let's face it, on all sides. But if you could sit in the race control and see these people care, they care. They want it to go well. They care about the racing. I'm thinking about a couple of instances, recently. Like, nobody wants anybody to have a bad experience. And they really genuinely do care about the experience of every racer. But sometimes, Fox TV and the weather, and all of a sudden things overtake a situation. But, do they care? Yeah, they do. And I've seen it. The people that I work with, they do care, and they want it to be as good as it can be, and they want to work hard to make it better. So I would say keep the ideas coming, like the brainstorming. Like, we just kicked around some ideas. Like, Walt told me one. I'm going to use that this weekend, Walt. That's happening. And I threw out some ideas. Like, guys, let us know. Over inform. Don't under inform. Over inform. We'll tell you. Don't worry. We got it. But until that happens, let us know. And I think we can work together to make it better than it is on a consistent basis. And I hope to be one of the racers too. I'm planning on going rounds, Walt. Like,
I know
we pulled the converter. That wasn't fun. I did that because I want to make the car better. Like, I've got plans, man. I want one of them little gold guys.
I got your back.
Oh, you did? Walt was there the whole time, Bobby. It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm getting texts. What about this? Take some out, put some in. It's like, oh, don't want to let him down. This guy's a champ. Anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, bud. All right.
Have a
There's
good one.
Joe Castello.
Yep.
What a great guy. Now, don't go anywhere, people. I got some results to cover. I don't know if Walt wants to sit in or if Walt wants to get out of here, but Walt, I'll let you decide. If I see you disappear,
I'm out of beer, so I don't know. But
right.
I'm committed. If you need me, I'm here. If you think you've got it,
I'm just going to start. Well, you do what you want, man. JEGS
All right.
Sportsnationals, South Georgia Motorsports Park, #1 qualifier, stock eliminator, Jim Marshall, iStock automatic. Anybody see that 78 Malibu wagon he's got now? That thing is beautiful. Does big wheelies. 116 under the index, 11.13.9 on a 12.30 index. There were 43 cars there in South Georgia. Final round was Jeff Harrington in the 2014 Cobra Jet, racing against Kevin Weidman in a 23 Copo, factory stock D. Harrington's factory stock F. Let's see. Harrington dialed 1038. He was 024 on the tree, ran dead on with a 9 to get the win. Kevin Weideman was 068. That was all she wrote. Ran a 1024 on 978, so might have spun as well or broken something. Jeff Harrington gets his second national event win. Did he spin or break there, Walt?
Yeah, he spun, and Harrington admittedly he even spoke about it. All the luck was on his side. One of those days where he was in the right place at the right time every time. But you got to be there to win it.
Absolutely. Well, he did have a decent light there, so good for him. And he is a good driver, Jeff Harrington.
Yep.
Let's see. Superstock, Mark Alvey, GTG automatic. He was the #1 qualifier in the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire. There were 42 cars in Superstock. He ran a 937.9 on a 1040. That's what he qualified with. He was 102.1 under the index. And Dan the Man Fletcher was in the final round, though, against Jeff Dona. This is a powerhouse matchup, huh? Fletcher, FGT G is the class he's running now with his 69 Camaro. And Jeff Dona was running Superstock H automatic with the 98 Firebird. Dona was 008 on the tree, dialed a 977. Fletcher dialed 983. He was leaving first by a tick there, and he was 019. So Dona had the advantage by 11th thou off the starting line. Well, I know both drivers must have been holding there, and Fletcher probably whomped it about 6 or 7 times down there. And Fletcher gets the double breakout win, 982.5 on the 983. Jeff Dona ran a 976.2 on a 977. Oof. So 8th thou breakout for Dona, 5th thou breakout for Fletcher. Fletcher gets his 108th national event win. Fletcher was ready. 010 in the first round, 18 in the second round, 005 third round, 010 in the fourth round, bye run in the fifth round, and then 19 in the final round. So he was ready. 108 national event wins. Where do you put all those trophies?
Everywhere.
Right? He's just fine with the bathroom. Just put one on the bathroom shelf. We had to finish stock and super stock, right? We had to finish the Bristol national event, and the Fletcher family had a good weekend here. So we had a heads-up final round here in stock eliminator. Tim Fletcher in the F-Stock automatic 69 Camaro had to go against Jimmy Hidalgo Sr., the country dog, in the F-Stock automatic 2004 GTO. All right, Walt, you know a little bit about this. They had to race a couple times that weekend.
Yeah,
however,
they had to race. That was the third heads-up matchup against them, and I guess it's hard to beat the guy 3 times. Hidalgo beat him in class, which it depends on how people approach class, and then the first round of, I believe, the divisional, or what? No, maybe it was the Sports Nationals. First round of the Sports Nationals, Hidalgo and Tim ran heads up, and Hidalgo won. And this was the third matchup this weekend, heads up between those 2 cars.
Wow, that's amazing. And then
yep.
Hidalgo, Fletcher was ready. Fletcher's 006 on the tree. Hidalgo goes red by 1 stinking thou. 001 red. And that's it. Hidalgo, he ran an 11:21 there. Fletcher coasted to a 10:97. Fletcher gets his second national event win. Only 106 more to go to catch up to the old man. And the kid's got the talent to do it. We'll see. We'll see if he does.
That's the senior Hidalgo. Let's make sure we get it right. That the senior Hidalgo in the finals of Bristol. Great job to both of those drivers.
The much louder, more talkative Hidalgo, I guess we'll say, right?
What they be talking about.
But don't fear, Jimmy Hidalgo Jr. made it to the final in Superstock against Jared Grenier in the Lupe Tortilla sponsored 66 Chevy 2. That's a Superstock F stick car with the 327 in it. Hidalgo Jr.'s got the 99 Firebird. That's Superstock G automatic. Let's see. Jimmy was 025. This is the country pup now. Cooter. 025 on the tree. Runs dead on his 974. So 974.8 on a 974. J-Rod was 070 on the tree and broke out by 2 thou, 952.8 on a 953. So Jimmy Jr. gets his 16th national event win there. And that's his second in a row, I believe, at Bristol. I know he won there last year. It might have been in stock last year. And
yeah, he won in stock last year. He beat Monty Bogan in the finals of Bristol. And J-Rod, of course, Cooter did a phenomenal job. And J-Rod with his stick shift Nova, big wheel stands every time. Didn't necessarily go straight every time. And he never missed a shift. He just kept on plugging away at it. And all the way to the finals, he missed it a little bit in the finals. And obviously, you can't do that against Cooter. So,
yeah, it's a tough
great job again to both racers.
He is a great driver in that car. And I've got I got multiple in-car videos of J-Rod, and you never, I mean, that shift light comes on, he's in the next gear. He doesn't miss a beat in that car. So we had a second race here in South Georgia. Now it was the divisional event, Division 2 points race. Jim Marshall was number one qualifier again in the Malibu. Let's see, he went 104 under the index here. But Joe Santangelo and Jeff Strickland were in the final round. Again, another heavyweight matchup. Santangelo, B stock automatic, 69 Camaro. Jeff Strickland, factory stock C, 23 Copo. I just have not beat Jeff. I mean, I have close races. Every time I've gone to Gainesville, I've had to race that guy. And, man, I just can't get around him. He is tough. Let's see how this race went down. Joe Santangelo down to 1042. He's 024 on the tree. And Strickland was 006. How about that? Down to 953. Strickland gets down there and breaks out by 8 thou. So Joe must have really, I guess, what did Joe must have fooled him down there. Joe must have dove on the brakes. 1044 on the 1042, gets his 26th divisional event win. So congrats, man. He was down on the tree there by 18 thou and got it done.
Yep, good job to both of those racers, and Santangelo's brakes work.
They work very well. Mark Alvey was number one qualifier again in Superstock GTG Automatic in the 04 Sunfire. He was 97 under in this event. Kevin Helms made it to the final round in his Superstock B modified 95 Olds Achieva against Don Barber, factory GTE 1996 Dodge Avenger. This is a pretty fast factory GTE car, by the way. Let's see, Kevin Helms, 005. Kevin Helms doing Kevin Helms things on the starting line. Runs a 9 flat on the 889 index. Don Barber was 072 on the tree. Gave Kevin Helms a lot up front there. You can't do that. And Don ran a 916 on a 911. So Helms had some room down there, and he gets his 25th divisional event win. Congratulations, Kevin Helms. And congrats, Don Barber, on the runner-up finish.
That's okay. 2 wins for Kevin in about 2 weeks in 2 different cars.
The guy's got talent. He's got talent. Former world champion Kevin Helms, too. Stock Eliminator champ.
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Yeah. Okay, where are we going next? Division 6, Woodburn, Oregon, number one qualifier, Joe Sorensen, F-Stock Automatic, 69 Camaro. He was 106 under the index there, 1078.4 on an 1185. Brad Burton found himself in the final round against Tommy Gaynor. Burton in the 72 Firebird, former world champion, D-Stock Automatic. And Tommy Gaynor in a 70 Camaro, B-Stock Automatic. Gaynor's 006 on the tree, but he only ran an 1189 on the 1049 dial-in. So, assuming a spin, unless he broke something, Walt, this race was not on the stream, was it? So we couldn't see it?
Yeah, I didn't know quite what the story was. I think the 60-foot looked fine, so it may have been a breakage or something went awry, and Tommy gave it up.
It's a tough one when you're 006 against Burton in the final round there. Burton was 045 and coasted to a 1097 on his 1076 dial to get his 20th divisional event win. But then he came around in Superstock. Superstock was number one qualifier was John Winslow, factory Superstock D in the 2011 Challenger. He was 999 under, 890 with a 1 under on a 990 index. And Burton in his father's 1991 Firebird. This is the GTF automatic car, and Brad really drives this car well. He had to race against Rich Panoski in the 67 Nova, Superstock H automatic Nova. Burton's 015 on the tree. and coasted to a 961 on a 941. What happened with Penosky? He went 1043 on a 1019, so either spun or broke.
Yeah.
So Burton got his 21st win. So he got his 20th and 21st divisional event win within a matter of minutes. And congratulations, Brad Burton, on the double up there. Let's see. So we go into race number 2 at Woodburn, Oregon. T-Stock Automatic, Brian Seberg in the 72 Comet. He's the number 1 qualifier. 119.8 under the index. 1320 with a 2 on a 1440 index. Now, Jody Lang is in the final against Kyle Rizzoli, another heavyweight matchup. So Brad Burton did not make it to the finals in Stock Eliminator. Jody Lang in the L Stock Automatic Malibu Wagon, 017 on the tree, 1198.4 on an 1198. It runs dead on. Kyle Rizzoli, 024 on the tree. He runs 1027.1 on a 1027. He's dead on. So by a matter of 21 and 25, by a matter of 4 thousandths of a second, Jody Lang gets the win. His 63rd divisional event win. How about that? Wow.
Awesome.
63. And
Great
he does
race.
it in a slow wagon, which adds extra props. Like Alan Reinhart had the coolometer. This is like my kind of thing. When you're in a slow car and you can go around like that, you.
And speaking of Alan Reinhart, he, I believe, announced that race, even though it wasn't on a stream or anything, but he was there announcing in Woodburn.
He is. He's making some appearances, I've noticed. So good for him. Good for him. All right, let's go into Super Stock. Well, GTN Automatic, Rick McKinney was number 1 qualifier. 96 Camaro in GTN Automatic. He's out of Richmond, British Columbia. 1030 with a 5 on an 1130. So he was 995 under the index, getting that number 1 spot. And Brad Burton came around again and got his 22nd. So he got win number 20, 21, and 22 all in one weekend. 3 wins in one weekend. Wow. He's a Drag Insights customer, so that's 3 more years of premium membership for him. That guy he's never going to pay for Drag Insights ever again. GTF Automatic, 91 Firebird, as you already know. He went up against Larry Scarth in a GTTB, so a truck, a 2001 Chevy pickup truck, I believe. Chevy S10, but somebody let me know if that's incorrect. He was 078 on the tree. Can't do that against Brad Burton, especially in this super stock car. And Larry was ran a 1068 on a 1064. Burton was 014 on the tree and ran a 947 on a 942. And there you have it. He got his 22nd win. 3 trophies in one weekend. All right, I think we covered all things NHRA, Walt. So we got the IHRA here. They had their debut, Nitro Series, Nitro Outlaw Series,
Outlaw Nitro, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So how about this? Okay, Brent Derrick gets the win. So there was 2 races in the one weekend. This event started on Wednesday, I believe.
Yep.
And Brent Derrick, B-Stick, 1994 Camaro, 1 stock. There were about 11 stockers and about 15 super stockers. So light car count for a very well-paying, well-run, well-streamed, well-covered event.
For the first race, to interrupt you, the first race you were able to double enter your stocker in super stock if you fit. So there was a couple racers that ran both with the same car.
Ooh, okay. Good to know. I did let's see. Who was I looking for? Because I did think I saw a name in both categories, but I was like, there's no way the guy's double entered with the same car, but it was. Yep. Maybe it was.
Brent Derrick did it. I think Zach Ross doubled, and it may have been somebody else that doubled, which drove up the car count a little bit for super stock.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. I mean, the fact that they paid full pay for the light car count they got, I hope that people start. If this race was closer to my house, I'd have been there. I'd have been there in a heartbeat. I like what they're doing. So Brent Derrick, B-Stick, 94 Camaro, he won stock. By the way, cash money on right there. I'm told $5,000 to win. You got your 5,000 in greenbacks right there at the track, plus contingency. Contingency was paid right there at the track also. So they weren't you weren't playing like the mail game and email game and all that to get your pay. It was right there. So that was cool. Andy Cronenbitter won Superstock in his 2008 Cobalt. That was race number 1. And then in race number 2, Steve Tukolsky, he won stock eliminator over Steven Zorny, right? So Tukolsky had a Chevy 2. I think it was like a 66 Chevy 2. He was 035 on the tree and ran a 1068 elapsed time. Zorny's got the orange, 2001-ish Dodge Dakota pickup truck.
Yep.
And he was 052 on the tree and ran an 1195. So Tukolsky got the win. There in stock, Matt Daddis won in super stock. This kid can get in anything and win. My goodness. I don't even know what he was driving. Do you know what he was driving, Walt?
It was a Sunfire. From my understanding, it's a super stocker that he just had built or just got together or whatever. It was really nice, clean Sunfire, kind of, I don't know the age, kind of like the one Mark Galvey has or whatever. But yeah, pretty good, clean white car, nice car, and it was working well.
And I think I saw GTH Automatic as the class, and he got the win over Bob Marshall. Bob Marshall, still racing that super stock B Automatic Dodge Coronet. That thing is an original.
Yep, Dodge material itself.
How about it? Let's see. So Daddis went dead on 994.0 on the 994 dial in, and he was 025 on the tree. Marshall broke out. He went 943 on a 946, and he was 053 on the tree. So congratulations, Matt Daddis, picking up some money there. And last but not least, we had a Hemi challenge, right? The John Holt Hemi Classic, I guess, was the name of the category at this event.
Yep.
So we had Steve Camella, well known. That car, by the way, well, I'm sure you watched the video. Does that car just not leave like perfectly straight?
Perfect.
Doesn't go up too high. Doesn't run flat. I mean, the wheels just come up about 6 inches, and that thing just drives out, man. 838.2 at 159 miles an hour. He got the win over Anthony Rhodes, who was 045 on the tree. Camella was 050, but Anthony Rhodes ran an 843 at 158 miles an hour. And Camella, I think he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve, and he kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know. I felt like when I was a little kid, like Warren Johnson would just come up for that last qualifier or that final round and just like 400ths, he would 500, like he would just blast it. And I feel
out
like
of nowhere
when Camella comes up, like that's what I'm like. What's he gonna run? Like I can't wait. Like what's Camella gonna run? You know?
It was pretty cool. The Camella ran Charlie Westcott in the semis, and Anthony Rhodes in the Candy Cooter ran Jason Lyon in the Fish Stick, which was really cool semifinals matchup, and they were really actually some close racing too. So that was very interesting.
And Westcott did a pretty big wheelie. So he was bouncing down the track there. So it's cool to see Westcott back out there, Walt.
It won't take him long to get it figured out.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yep.
So it'll be fun. It'll be fun at Indy. All right, there we go. All the results have been covered. I'm just going to run through the points, and we're going to get out of here. This was the longest episode we've ever done. So stock eliminator nationally, Jeff Atkinson's number 1. Jimmy Hidalgo Jr. is in second by 1 point. Jeff Strickland in third. Josh Decker in fourth. Johnny Gray in fifth. That's stock eliminator. Super stock, Jimmy Hidalgo Jr. has taken the number 1 spot. Leo Glassbrenner in second. Kevin Helms in third. Pete Diagnolo in fourth. And Chad Guilford is in fifth. And then we're going to run through each division. Johnny Gray is in first in Division 1 in stock eliminator. Pete Diagnolo in super stock. Division 2, Jeff Strickland in stock. Monty Bogan in super stock. Division 3, Josh Decker stock. Fred Bartoli Jr. in super stock. Division 4, Jimmy Hidalgo Jr. in stock and super stock. Division 5, Ellis Booth in stock. Jason DeForest in super stock. Division 6, Brad Burton in stock. Brad Burton in super stock. Division 7, Kyle Rizzoli has taken out Nanette Stein in stock. And Leo Glassbrenner in super stock. How dare you, Kyle Rizzoli? All right. I'm sure, guys, there was probably some more other stuff we were to talk about, but we didn't. Oh, one more thing. The Orion Riley and Joe Santangelo round. Did you see that one, Walt? I think.
Oh, really good. Yes.
013 on the tree. Joe's 014 on the tree, and they both run dead on with a 0. That was like
dead 0. Yeah. Amazing. Yep.
So
a lot of good racing this weekend. I enjoyed it. I was supposed to go to Maple Grove and run import stuff, and the weather didn't look so hot, so I just stuck around the house and watched everybody else race.
Yeah, and you got to see a lot of good stuff, Walt. I didn't get to see as much this weekend, and I missed a lot of good stuff. Gainer grenaded the motor, says Pete Lanciers.
Oh no,
that's a tough one. Tom Baker has a good video of Marshall's wagon leaving from the back. That's pretty cool. So be sure to post it there, Tom. And Ray Thurston says Zach Ross broke in the Super Stock Semi. Datus red after winning Stock Semi. Zach was a no-show for both finals of the Pro-Am and the Divisional.
Oh, wow. I know he ran it up. I didn't know he was a no-show. Okay. Wow.
All right. And with that, we'll leave it. Thank you, Ray. Thanks, Ray, for staying up till 10:30 at night. I can't believe it. And Walt, thanks for sticking it out tonight. And Joe Castello, thanks to him for coming on tonight. It was a fun show tonight.
Yep, it was a good show.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And follow Walt's Stock Super Stock page because it's the biggest one out there on Facebook, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good night, Walt. Thanks for everything. See you guys. Take care.
All right.
Oh, hold on. I hit the button, but it didn't go. Good luck, everybody, heading to the Seattle Nationals this weekend, by the way. And the triple 5K at Napierville Dragway. I forgot to shout that out. I think the Gaffneys helped put up the purse for that. So you got triple 5K, July 17th to the 20th at Napierville Dragway this weekend in Canada. And you got the Seattle National event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Be on the lookout for the Drag Insights driver previews for Stock and Super Stock. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks a lot, Walt. I'll see you, buddy.
See you.